Okay, so we've talked about the business environment, we've talked about Porter's five forces. Now let's talk about the competitive strategies. Okay, you use your SWOT analysis to try and get a handle on your market. You look at the Porter's five forces to determine what is your best competitive strategy. Now again, we've got three primary competitive strategies. Some companies do a mix. Some companies will use one strategy for, say, one product line, a different strategy for a different product line. But for the most part, there are three strategies. The one that you're probably most familiar with is cost leadership. Okay, and that is to trim your costs to the point where you offer simply the best price available. Okay, so remember our machine screws. Okay, and there were a lot of players in that marketplace. You might be able to argue that your screw is perhaps of a special design that is unique in the industry, but frankly, people are going out to buy a box of machine screws probably aren't going to care too much about that. Okay, that's nice, but really, they're going to be shopping for best price. Okay, so you've got cost leadership. Okay, there is a problem with cost leadership, and think of a company. Go ahead, take a few seconds. Think of a company that you can think of that is a cost leadership. Takes a cost leadership approach. Goes for the lowest prices out there. I'll wait for a second. Okay, I'm willing to bet that you probably thought of Walmart. Okay, most people do. If I ask for an example of a company pursuing a cost leadership strategy, most students would say Walmart. Okay, fine, you'd be right. Okay, now there's a problem with the cost leadership strategy, and that is within any given market, there can only be one player, one company, one business that really achieves that. Maybe it's Walmart. Okay. If Target decided they wanted to compete with Walmart on price, and they ended up losing, okay, they could not match Walmart's prices, but their strategy has been to be the cost leader in that market, then they're going to be in trouble. Okay, so, but okay, cost leadership, get your prices down as low as you can, and for those commodity items, people are just going to be going to purchase at the lowest price. Okay, that's one strategy. The second strategy is differentiation. Okay, now a good example of a company that differentiates might be Apple. What differentiation is that you try to make your product, your service different from everybody else's. Okay, so you're not looking necessarily at cutting cost. Instead, you're looking at refining your product or refining your service to really meet the needs of the customer. Okay, and so Apple has been very good at that. There have been, interestingly enough, there have been some auto companies. Hyundai. Let's talk about Hyundai. Hyundai, when they started, probably about 30 years ago, in this country, selling cars here in the U.S. Their strategy was cost leadership. Now, they were trying to bring cars over, the cheapest cars that you could buy. Okay, over the years they have moved to a differentiation strategy. Okay, because they're getting pressure from other manufacturers, Kia. There are also some others that came and went, and for years now there's been talk that China's going to start shipping cars over. So the cost leadership strategy is just not going to work for Hyundai anymore. So they're moving to differentiation, and you've seen this. The quality of their cars is improving. The style of their cars has been improving. Kia, who is a cousin, so to speak, I think they might even be owned at least partially by Hyundai, has been trying to do the same thing, trying to move away from cost leadership to differentiation, try to change the product to where it makes it more attractive and makes it unique in the marketplace. Okay. The third strategy is focus. And the way focus works is you identify a niche market. a market that no one else is addressing, or an exclusive market of some kind. An excellent example would be Rolex watches. Okay, now I don't have a Rolex. I never will have a Rolex. I don't care to own a Rolex, but there are some people who do. Okay, but when it really comes down to things, a Rolex is a status symbol, and they have built that reputation over years. Okay, they've built that reputation to the point where it's largely a status symbol. Okay, how did they do this? Well, they decided to style their watches, turn them into, they're nice machines, they're nice timekeeping pieces. I mean, they're excellent. But they went beyond that. A modern watch is really doesn't matter who you buy it from. You can buy a $5 digital watch, and it'll probably keep as good a time as a Rolex or one of the nicer brands. Bulova, any of those others. The difference is that they really cater to the well-to-do. Okay, if you want to call them the 1%, the 2%, whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay, that's their market, and they sell to that market. They will sell through outlets only that cater to that market. You will not find Rolex watches at, say, JCPenney. You simply won't. Okay, Nordstrom's maybe. Okay, but certainly some of the higher end, probably generally speaking, some of the higher end jewelry stores is where you will find Rolexes. Okay, so they identify a market, a niche market. Okay, and that's going to be their strategy. So let's tie all this stuff together. Okay, let's talk just for a moment about how this stuff all gets tied together. Okay, so we've talked about the business environment. We've talked about SWOT analysis. We've talked about Porter's 5 forces model, and now we have talked about the competitive strategies, which also came from Porter, by the way. Michael Porter, a professor at Harvard University. What does this all have to do with information systems? Well, information systems give us the tools that help us implement our strategies better. So let's take this cost leadership. Okay, how can we use information systems? Well, we can use it perhaps to manage the process of procuring our raw materials. Okay, make us more efficient. Could be that what we're going to do is perhaps use information systems to implement robotics in our production facility, to provide or to produce at a lower cost and also at a higher quality than might have been done otherwise by hand. Cost leadership, we can research other businesses. We could improve communications, improve efficiencies. Okay. What about differentiation? Okay, well, with differentiation, it could be that you can use information systems to perhaps, for instance, you can install a customer relationship management system, CRM, customer relationship management. Business today doesn't think in terms of a sale right now. Okay, getting just one sale. You want that customer coming back to your business every time that they need to buy something. Okay, and it's true. Studies have shown that it's cheaper to hold on to the customers you have than to try to entice new customers to come to your business. Okay, so you want to keep your customers happy. That doesn't mean necessarily that you're going to adopt a policy that the customer is always right. Okay, but you are going to adopt strategies where if the customer is wrong, you're going to figure out a way in which you can still maintain that relationship even if you're having to say no to that customer for some reason. Okay, information systems can help you with that. Certainly email, okay, and the web working together. If you have overstock of inventory and you have established customers, you can very quickly send out coupons to those customers saying, why don't you come on in, we've got a special deal going on here. These are customers who have purchased from you before, and so they're probably inclined to do business with you again. Okay, so differentiation, you could use CAD systems, computer-assisted design, 3D CAD systems to better design products. Okay, so there's a number of ways in which you can use systems within differentiation. If you adopt a focus strategy, then you're going to rely more on marketing tools. And I'm not talking about advertising. I'm talking about getting to really know your customer base, getting to know what are the best places to distribute your product, what resellers are high-end resellers, and you can work with them. Better understand your market. Okay, so cost leadership, you're trying to improve efficiency. Differentiation, you're trying to introduce services that are unique. Okay, and focus, you're trying to better understand your customer. And for all of three of those, information systems today play a major role.